Morning, everybody. Okay, so in yesterday's live video, I went over some of my physical updates as well as business updates, so please go check that out. I'm not going to sit here and reiterate that once again for 10 minutes, so we're going to go straight into the energy healing for today, which is teaching you guys how to heal and release deep cellular painful memories out of your body and out of your energy. And so I want to say how I first came up with this idea, which was I was doing some womb healing over myself during my last cycle of the month. And it was so painful that I was like, okay, there's got to be something here that's manifesting in the non physical, which is causing me to experience like this severe pain. And so I figured out that all women have a womb divine cord that connects them, I guess, like to the creator, to the center of the universe, which is so interesting. And I haven't channeled anything else about it. I don't know if it's like specifically to the feminine aspect of source or how all of that works out. I would really just have to sit in meditation and channel that. So, but anyways, all women have this divine cord in their womb. And so then I started getting downloaded messages of needing to strengthen that cord, clearing it out. So a lot of women can have painful cellular memories in their divine womb cord, even though it's non-physical, you can still have that, as well as deep, painful cellular memories in your womb space, in your uterus. So basic biology, okay? So we all start from atoms, and then those atoms turn into cells. Okay, I'm not gonna like get into like the extreme details of that or anything, but cells form tissues, tissues form organs, and then organs exist in living organisms. And so, if you think about it that way, from a scientific perspective, you can literally target all of your cells in your body and all of the different systems that exist in yourself. And let's see, I have like all of my notes scattered all over the place. So let's just like start. Let's see. Yeah, let's start with the womb. Okay. So first thing that I did was I scanned the womb for negative energy. And then the basic way that you clear that is I just take my selenite wand and I can literally just set the intention to heal and release all negative energy from my womb space that no longer serves. You can scan for low vibrational energetic residue as well, and then send that back to the center of the universe for healing and call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light, your natural frequency, and any other energies that serve your highest contracts moving forward. And then you'll do the feminine, masculine, overall energy clearing, old body memory clearing as well. And then what you can do is go deeper. And this might be intense for some people. So, if you feel called like to work with me to do this, we can totally do that. However, these cellular memories, these deep, painful cellular memories can actually come from your ancestors, like your mother and your grandmother and her mom and all of that down your entire mother's bloodline and your entire dad's bloodline. It all gets passed to you. Okay, so just take that in for a second because that's really heavy and really intense. And I typically fly through this information very quickly. So yeah, all of these different painful cellular memories that formed you today, you are literally embodying and clinging onto. And there's a book that's coming up. It's called The Body Keeps Score. I never read it, but I did see it in Barnes & Noble. And I'm not sure if it talks about this stuff or not, but I have heard different energy teachers talk about working with that book with ancestral healing. And so anyway, just take a minute to become conscious of all of the cellular memories that you could potentially be carrying right now in this moment. Okay, it's a lot and it's really intense. I know for me in particular with my journey, I carried a lot of religious trauma, a lot of like feminine trauma, like wounded feminine trauma, severe wounded feminine trauma. That could look like dying while giving birth. It could look like getting severely oppressed and like multiple lifetimes just for existing as a woman. Okay, like there are so many painful cellular memories that we are all embodying. And what I realized from doing this energy healing is how connected these cellular memories are to the neural pathways. So if you haven't seen my neural pathways video, please go watch that. It's a couple of videos back in my live section tab. But when I was removing some of the painful cellular memories from my womb space and my vaginal area, I could literally feel at the same time all of this energy coming out of like my brain, like my limbic system where the neural pathways are. And so there was like deep energy healing that simultaneously happened while I was doing the cellular memory healing. And so anyway, and so yeah, okay. And then we talked about the divine cord. Okay, yeah. So just reiterating that one more time. With the divine cord, as a woman, okay, a biological woman, you have this divine womb cord. And so basically, what you can do is scan it for low vibrational energetic residue, residual energetic layers. Sometimes there could be dark entities there, okay, parasites, etheric parasites can be there. And for a lot of women, it can be very weak. And so, what I recommend doing is setting the intention of channeling that pure white light energy. Personally, I got called to work with secondary life force energy, with pure white light energy, and not the primary life force energy because of how weak that cord was. And then I did like a 3-day schedule for me. Definitely channel and tap into your own energy, your own contracts, and see what happens or see what is best for you. Okay, so 3 days was perfect for me. Maybe you need 5 days. Maybe you just need 1 day. Maybe you need 2 weeks. Okay, just be like very gentle with yourself. And all you'll do is you'll just bring through pure white light, set that intention, bring it through the crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, heart, solar. And once you get to the womb area, set the intention that that white light penetrates your divine womb cord with grace and ease, and then send it to Gaia. Like just bless it back to Gaia if that resonates with you. And that's what I did for 3 days straight. And I could feel it, like, especially on my cycle. Like, it was very intense. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to share this with my YouTube community. I have to tell everybody. So, anyway. Okay, yeah. And then just to remove the painful cellular memories, so let's just start with the womb. Okay. So you don't have to be specific. Like, you don't have to go specifically with the uterus or your ovaries, which you can. You most definitely can start there. You can start very gentle and just go, okay, I now heal and release all deep cellular painful memories. Are you an Andromen starseed? Yes, I am. Sorry, I like got totally distracted. I'm gonna touch on that. I'm just gonna park that over here for a second and finish explain this energy healing really quick. Okay. So yeah, you guys can start with ovaries, your uterus, just whatever. Pull up a picture on Google and just look at all the different aspects within the reproductive system. That's another idea is, or you can just say overall, I now heal and release all deep, painful cellular memories out of the reproductive system as a whole. And just here is a disclaimer, here is a warning that you may trigger different blocked memories within your consciousness. Okay, so stuff that could be sitting in your Akashic records from other lifetimes that you've lived could get triggered from that neural pathway healing. So just be very aware of that and just be very gentle with yourself, okay? I always recommend doing this kind of deep energy healing sitting in your heart space, because if you're not grounded and sitting in your heart portal space, it can be very intense, very triggering, like to your ego, which is the aspect of yourself that kind of keeps you grounded here, right? Like keeps you grounded on the planet. It keeps you in this matrix reality. So when you're like removing all these intense energies and all those intense lifetimes get triggered, your ego is like, like, so it can be like really intense. So just make a note of that. Okay. And then what I did was I channeled that I needed to heal deep cellular painful memories from the anal area, the vaginal area, and the womb area. So again, you can do the same thing. Just go on Google, pull up all aspects of the anus, I guess, or the anal area, the vaginal area, and the womb area. And literally, you could just like go ham with that. And just very gently remove all those deep, painful cellular memories. For some of you, you might get visuals. For me, especially when I was removing like the anal stuff, oh my gosh, that came from a lot of past lifetimes with sodomy, a lot of blood, sex, and ritual abuse from different past lifetimes. And so the way I saw that energy leaving me was, it was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to explain this physically, but I'm doing my best. It was like a mixture of like this like dark grayish, blackish, whitish energy. And then it was like mixed with like, I don't know if I want to say photons, but like, it was like the energy like sparkled, but not in like a high vibrational way, if that makes sense. It's like a low vibrational, erratic kind of image that I got. And then sometimes I'll see like entities leaving, or like it's like a metaphorical third eye visual of the pain that manifests as like a being like screaming and releasing itself. Like, so interesting. But that was some of the visuals that I got from doing this deep energy healing. And oh yeah, I want to talk about what I found in my divine cord really quick, in my womb divine cord. That was a visual that I got for it. It looked like a non-physical, like white umbilical cord. That's literally the best way I can describe it. It was like, it just looked like a column, and it just looked very like, it wasn't opaque, but it wasn't super like transparent either. It was like in the middle. What is that? Translucent? I can't even remember the scientific terms for that. But you could like kind of see through it, like into the cosmos in a way, like if that makes any sense. And I had 3 energetic wounds in my womb divine cord. I had low vibrational energetic residue, and I had old belief systems that came from ancestors. So there were old belief systems that I accrued from incarnating through my bloodlines. And those old belief systems got stored in my womb divine cord. And so I'm just going to recap over everything and just tell you how to remove all this yourself. For men, especially though, I know that y'all have a horror space. So I don't know. I haven't channeled it. I haven't channeled if y'all have like a certain, I know y'all do though, because it would only make sense. But there's got to be a certain kind of energetic connection with men that y'all have to the divine masculine, the divine rod aspect of source. Okay. So I don't know. I think I'm going to make notes of this and possibly do like a video where I just like talk about all the things that I channel. So that'd be pretty cool. Okay. What was the question? Oh yeah. Do men have energetic cord / rod similar? I'm already hearing yes, but I don't know what it is yet. Ugh. Okay. Similar to divine womb cord. Okay, yeah, I can feel like there's a ton of information coming through. So I'm just going to have to, when I'm done with this live video, I'm going to write this down, and then maybe my next live video or something, I'll talk about it, or just make a quick video and answer that question. So anyway, okay, with the energetic wounds on the divine cord, basically what I did was I just set the intention to remove it. So I now heal and release all. Actually, I did 2. Sorry, I did 2 energetic wounds at once. There was a message that came through which said I couldn't do all 3. I had to do 2 at once. So I just said I now heal and release 2 energetic wounds off of my divine cord that no longer serve, and send that back to the creator for healing. And I call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light, my natural frequency, and anything else that serves my highest contracts moving forward. And then I clear my feminine, masculine, overall energy, old body memory from that energetic wounding, and send that back to source for healing as well. And I call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light, my natural frequency, and all the filters. Okay. And then I waited about like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to do the next energetic wounding. The same way that you would do sets in a gym. It's the same kind of system that I have for that. And then I removed the low vibrational energetic residue. So I now heal and release that low vibrational energetic residue, send that back to source for healing, and I do the same exact filters. And then I waited like 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to move on to the next thing. And then with the old belief systems, what I do, because anytime you have programmings, conditionings, deep energetic grooves, well, I shouldn't say deep energetic grooves. No, scratch that. Not deep energetic grooves. Old belief systems, okay? Or cellular codings, those are deeply, deeply ingrained, hardened energies that sit, like the way I get the visual through my third eye is like, it looks like like this like black crusted energy that's just like sitting on your energy channels. Okay. And it's like me just saying, okay, selenite, and like my intention enough alone is just sometimes not enough to remove it. And then that's when I work with source energy. That's when I work with that pure life force, primary life force energy to invoke that into my energy. And basically what it does is source energy will come through. So basically like the purest aspect of all of ourselves will come through and break up that energy and remove it. And it's very intense. And so you have to use some caution and discernment when doing psychic surgery on yourself, because if you are like me, if your soul is very similar to me and you went through a lot of fucking trauma, like not in just this lifetime, but in many lifetimes, you could have a very weak nervous system. You could have very weak energy channels. You could have a very weak pillar of light. Okay. A lot of stuff could be blocked off for you still, and you're not accessing a lot of stuff from the non-physical. Okay. Because certain things and you need to strengthen before you can start experiencing that intense energetic flow of all of that is and everybody else's energy around you. So anyways, so yeah, basically I will channel like, okay, like, can I perform psychic surgery on myself and remove these at this time? And I get yes. So with the old belief systems, what I will do is, since I know exactly where it is, which is in the divine cord within that womb space, I will basically visualize, I will set the intention to invoke source energy into my crown chakra, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral. And then once I'm in the solar and sacral area, then I will now visualize my womb space. And I will say, okay, now invoke source energy into my womb space. This might get intense. Into my womb divine cord. Okay, if you can't handle that, that's okay. Just like go as far as you can go. Like don't push yourself, you know? And then say, okay, source energy, I now ask that you uninstall, release, let go, nullify, void, whatever you want to say, clear cut and void, all old belief systems in my womb divine cord that are no longer serving my highest contracts. And I now send those back to you, Creator, for healing. And I now call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light. I'm like feeling the energy healing all over again. My natural frequency and any other energies that serve my highest contracts moving forward. And then, yeah, do the same thing, clear feminine, masculine, overall energy clearing, all body memory, and send that back to the Creator for healing. I'm like looking at my live chat right now. It's so funny. Okay. Ooh, actually, I want to include this second page that I did with this healing. And so, yeah. Okay, I'm just going to take a pause really quick and just look at my live chat. So, are you an Andromedan starseed? Yes. Yes, I am. I would say that I'm like a hybrid Andromedan starseed. So a long time ago, I would say, what was this? This was in 2020. Oh my gosh, 4 years ago. After my out-of-body experience that I had in 2020, I went and talked to this medium, and she was like, oh yeah, like, she was like, you're a starseed. And I was like, starseed, like, what does that mean? And she said, Andromeda, like you're really connected to the Andromedans. And she said some other things as well. But throughout my journey, through my own channeling, through my own meditations and all of that, I learned that my soul's like basically like a hybrid. Like it's not just like purely Andromedan. Like there's like a mixture of other star seeds, other star races, I guess you could say. That composes. Oh my gosh, that composes my soul. I don't know English. Sometimes I'm not good at explaining things. And so anyway. Long story short, like I do have a lot of Andromedan energies in my soul as well as around me. Like I have a spirit guide. His name is Aliandia. I believe that's how you say his name. And he wears a non-physical helmet, I guess. I don't know if it's non-physical or not, but he wears a helmet which allows him to send me messages or send me things like from where he's at in the Andromedan galaxy, like physically. I don't know, it's so deep that I can't even like get my human brain and human mind around it. It just like trips me out just thinking about it. And so and part of what I'm here to do is actually heavily involved with the Andromedans. So, and I'm just gonna leave that there because I'm not at liberty to disclose that information just yet. And so yeah, anyways, love the Andromedans. Probably explains why like I had such a strong passion for chemistry and science like my whole life. Like I was such a scientist. And yeah, anyways. And selenite, yes. Yeah, selenite is amazing. And the reason why I work with selenite is because of my out of body experience. So in 2020, um, I guess I'll just recap it. I'm not going to go into detail, but basically, I left my body in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, and um, there were these dark entities in my room. There's like three, maybe four of them. They were like at the top corner, like right next to my bed. And I just remember sitting up out of my body and I looked at them and I couldn't speak. I could only telepathically communicate with them. And I said, "What are you doing here? Like, what do you want? Like, who the fuck are you?" I was like cursing at them. I was like, "What the fuck do you want?" And they were just staring at me. They were like, they had these like big oval white eyes. Like, they looked like a black Casper almost, but like, I feel like Casper just looks so much more like 3D. And these like did not look 3D. Like, they were very like 2D. It was like literally like a drawing. Like, they looked like a drawing, and they were like so flat, but like their tails were like swirling. Like, they looked like their tails were like creepy looking, and I was just like, ugh, like, what are you doing in my room, and how'd you get here? You know. Anyway, so after that out of body experience happened, and I returned back to my physical body, or I was trying to wake up, and I couldn't wake up. It was like I was like stuck in the etheric or wherever I was, and I like saw my physical body sleeping. I saw myself sleeping, and I couldn't get back, and I was freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do I wake up? And so anyway, like, I laid over myself, like on my back, and I was like floating above myself. Like, it felt like I was like, my physical body was here, and it felt like I was here, which is why I was freaking out so much. And I looked back at the entities, and I was like, "Hello, what are you staring at?" Like, I'm like freaking out, trying to get back in my body, and they're just like staring at me. And then it was like the second that I felt fear was the second that they flew at me, and they flew at my heart chakra. And so in the etheric or wherever I was, I looked down at my heart, and it was literally like a golden light portal. And I was like, what? No way. Like, that's cool as fuck. Like, I have a golden light portal like in my heart space. Like, that's crazy. Anyways, actually learned, like, I want to say maybe a year ago was, I don't know. I made an Instagram reel about this, about how you can actually download your next highest vibrational timelines and other cool information through that heart portal that I saw in my out of body experience. But anyways, that's a story for another time. So they flew at my heart center, and I was like, no. And one of their mouths like opened up. It looked like this scream mask. And I was like, get the fuck away from me. And so anyways, I like hyperventilated a little bit because I was freaking out. And so then I finally like landed back into my physical body. And I was like, I sat up and I went, and I looked at the corner where the entities were, and they were gone because I was back in the physical realm, right? Like, you couldn't see them because I was no longer, you know, in the astral or the etheric, wherever I was. And anyways, I was like, I have to go talk to a medium because this is fucking crazy. Like, this is wild. And so I actually talked to this medium. I went to a crystal shop, and I told her about what happened to me. And I was like, is there any kind of like protection that I can use like for that? Because like, what the fuck? I don't want them flying at my heart, you know, like, ew. Like, I already didn't like that they were in my room alone. And then for them to fly at my energy, I was like, no. Like, and so anyway, I took all these notes, but she didn't give me any crystal recommendations. Actually, no, she did. Sorry, that was a lie. She did. She told me to sleep with this one black crystal. It's called Numite. And she said it would help prevent psychic attacks. And so I was like, okay. I didn't know anything about crystals at that point. And so like, they had this room of all these different crystals in there. And I went to pick up the Numite, and I was reading all the little cards, and it was like, okay, this helps with dark entities. This helps with psychic attacks. I'm like, okay, well, that's what the fuck I saw. So I'm getting this crystal. I'm getting this crystal. And I just like, I bought like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 crystals, I think, that day. And then they had a wall of selenite, and something about the selenite, this crystal right here, like drew me to the selenite wall. And I said, okay, like, I wonder what this is. Like, I was so curious, like, in the frequency, I must have picked up on it or something. And the second I picked up this like tiny little selenite wand, and it literally, like, I felt an entire jolt of energy just go through my entire body. Like, it was like electricity. It was so intense. And like, the second I picked it up, I was like, like, it was so powerful. And I was like, oh my God, that was so intense. And I looked at the owner because she was the owner of the store. I said, I just picked this up and I felt like a jolt of electricity go through me. Is that normal? Like, I don't know what just happened. And she goes, oh, it like probably cleared something, probably cleared your energy. And I said, oh, cool. And so then after that, I was like, well, I want to make this a necklace. And so I wore a selenite necklace for like years over my heart chakra. And I worked in this restaurant and I like inspired so many people to wear selenite necklaces for their heart chakra. And so anyway, it was so funny. But yeah, like ever since then I wore selenite over my heart space. I keep selenite in my car. I have selenite wands for my energy healing. This is what I use what I did use in my physical in-person sessions, my psychic healing sessions. I can't get enough selenite, honestly. So, and yeah, that's my background story for selenite. And anyways, yeah. And one thing I do want to share with y'all was the owner of that crystal shop. Oh my gosh, I triggered the fuck out of her. I remember I came out of my like my reading session. I was so excited, like because I was starting to make sense of like what I went through that couldn't be explained by anybody else on the planet. Like you would only be able to make sense if you were to tap into the non-physical. And so anyway, I was like so excited with all the information that came through, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a starseed. That's so cool. Like I felt like I was so special and like so cool and so unique because my whole life I always felt like the black sheep. I always felt like I was an outcast. I just saw a huge like flashing white orb just now. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I must be aligned to talk about this story. And so anyways, I always felt different. I always felt like I was the weird kid, right? Like I always felt like I didn't belong here. I always felt like I couldn't fit in no matter how hard I tried, and I didn't want to fit in. And I just wanted to be like my funny, like awkward, weird, normal, like goofy self, you know? And it was like there just wasn't any space for that. Like there wasn't anybody that was a part of my reality growing up who was just like me. It was like everybody wanted to be a part of their narcissistic cult family system or dysfunctional family system or whatever. It was like nobody just wanted to be different. Nobody loved being different. Like, anyway. And so when I heard that information, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. And so anyway, like I always knew I wasn't from here. Like I always knew this was definitely not my home planet. And I walked up to the owner of the store and I said, oh my gosh, like I just found out that I'm a starseed. Like that's so exciting. And she goes, yeah, I'm pretty sure we all are starseeds at this point. And I was just like, okay, bitch, like you certified hater. She was a major certified hater. And so anyway, I was like, you're giving old jealous woman vibes. Okay. Like, please get over yourself and heal that. Please heal your feminine energy. Sis. Oh, it was so bad. Oh my gosh. And I want to say one more thing about that. I went into that same crystal shop like years later, once I started clearing myself out and all my psychic stuff started really coming online and my channeling abilities started coming online and my gift of sight started coming online. And I was seeing things, feeling things, hearing things, right? Channeling things like all simultaneously. And I remember I went back to her crystal shop to get like another crystal or oracle deck or something. And I started talking to the, what do you call them? Like the cashier, I guess, like the front lady person. And I started talking to her and I can't remember what it was that we were talking about in regards to like Native American energies or something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think I was telling her about me going to this hot spring place, which is 2 hours away from here. So there's this place called Lava. We're just into this story time, guys. I know. I said this was going to be for podcast, but I just feel called to talk about this today. So yeah, anyways, there's this hot springs town 2 hours away from here. It's called Lava Hot Springs. And there's this store there, and they sell like tons of Native American things in there. And every time I'd go into that store, I would feel so much pain on my heart. I would feel people like souls and spirits on the other side, like grabbing at my heart portal, like, help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, help, I'm in a lot of pain. And I know that I'm very connected with the Native Americans, with indigenous people, and that stems from my mother's bloodline. There's a lot of Mayan ancestry, a lot of Native American ancestry on my mother's bloodline. And so anyway, yeah, I'm like already getting like flashbacks of past lifetimes. That's crazy. Anyway, so I'd go into that store and I would always feel the Native American spirit like always grabbing my heart. And so I told her about that. And she goes, "Oh, well, maybe if I take you downstairs to our meditation room, maybe you can explain to me what energies are in here, what's been going on." I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." She takes me down these stairs, we go right, and then we go left. And then the second that I walk into the room, I was like, I felt very like heavy, intense, like grief energy. Like it was like, it wasn't extremely low vibrational in the way of like it's saturated with like a bunch of like dark entities and demonic shit. It was like, it was just saturated with so much heartache and grief and pain and like misery and depression. And I look up at the picture frame. There's like a Native American dude with the feathers on his head. And then all of a sudden, I feel the same kind of movement, which is like some man grabbing my heart chakra, and he's like, "Help! Like help me!" Like he like needed so much help. And I said to the lady, I said, "Are you aware that there are energies stuck here? Like there are souls that are stuck here, and they're not letting go, and they need help." Like it was like had I sat in that room for probably about like a less than a minute, they would have left. Like they would have left that house. They would have left whatever they were clinging on to. Like it was like for whatever reason, the universe sent me there because that soul or those souls needed my healing, my something. They needed something from me. And anyway, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm getting crazy full body chills. Like, I have to tell the owner." She goes, "Let me bring you upstairs and show you our attic because there's some weird shit that goes on up there." I said, "Okay, sure." She brings me up the stairs and then she opens the door. It was like a closet, like in the middle of their store. And then there's like a staircase that goes up to their attic. And she said that's like where they kept all the sound bowls and how some of them would break up there just automatically. And like a bunch of crazy shit went on up there. And so the second she opens the door, I just saw like a bunch of like low vibrational, like reptilian dark entities and other dark entities that were in there, not just reptilian, but like just tons of dark entities up there. And it only made sense because like the universal law, like attracts like, similar vibration has to attract similar vibration in order to coexist in that space. And so with all of that grief, with all of that pain, with all that heartache, with all that depression, and who knows, maybe there were like hexes on the property, curses, spells, something that were attracting those entities and those beings that were just lingering around there. Um, Not to mention sometimes those beings will like hop onto people and follow them around and then they'll break off and like live in the space. Okay, if nobody clears them out. So anyway, I said, "Whoa." I said, "Girl, you got like these energies up here, like this energy is there." I said, "No wonder all your shit is breaking because, you know, you got all these crazy entities in here that are causing havoc." I said, "I know how to remove them if you want." I said, "But I don't want to like, you know, cross any boundaries. I don't want to step on any toes." And anyway, so she goes and like tells the owner, and then the owner like went back and told her some crazy shit. And I remember I came in there the next time with my like best friend, and the owner was, or the girl, the cashier was like, "Yeah, so we talked to the owner, and she knows exactly what she's doing with this space, and she doesn't need your assistance." So, and I was like, "Okay, like that's a you problem, then good luck." That's all I have to say to you, honey, is good luck. And then I think like maybe 2 years later, I can't remember how long it was. I came into contact with this other medium, and he was like, I asked him about that experience. I told him, I was like, "I know exactly what I saw. I know exactly what I felt like. And I knew in that moment I was being gaslit. I knew that I was being challenged because whoever that was had a major like chip on their shoulder. They have major spiritual ego. They think they're better than everybody. They think they know everything more than everybody else in the spiritual community. And there's a lot of people like that here in Utah. And I feel like part of the reason why I'm meant to be here is to trigger those people too, because they're just as bad as the like gung-ho religious people. Like they're just as equally as bad. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, um, and so the medium told me, and he said, "You were called into that space to make those energies aware to those people because they were asking for help, and you were the help. Like you were the answer that approached them, and they didn't want to receive you. They didn't want to receive the help that showed up because they had a certain lens or a certain, I guess, perspective. I would say lens. Yeah. They had a certain lens of how that help was going to show up. So because I didn't wear like a white robe and I didn't have feathers or crazy shit on my head, I didn't carry my staff when I walked in there, right? Like, you know, I didn't look the part. Like, I was just wearing like jeans and a t-shirt. And because I didn't look the part, they were quick to be like, who the fuck are you? What do you know about this stuff? You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways, it was so interesting. I got super validated by that dude. And he was saying how I have a unique energy that different places will call me in. It will call my energy in for help. And because I don't fit the typical box of people's help, they're like, who the fuck are you? And like, what can you do? And then once they like, you know, fuck around and find out, they're like, well, okay, like she's really fucking powerful. Like, okay, shit. And then their ego gets humbled. You know, I destroy their spiritual ego. And then it's like, great. Like it's all a win-win at the end of the day. So, yeah, anyways, I had to share that story. So, I just want to reply in the chat really quick because I know that a lot of people will watch it once it's done. Oh, let's see. Do we have emojis in YouTube chat? Oh, they're like weird smiley faces. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that one. Yes. Okay. Yes to all of the above. Yes to all of the above. Okay, anyways, this is so much fun. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for interacting with me. This is so much fun. Anyways, okay. I didn't realize how much I would enjoy the live chat feature. So, okay, next. Tailored onto this energy healing. So what you can do is you can scan your neural pathways for trauma. And specifically something cool that I learned recently is certain trauma will attach to the tissue of neural pathways of your gut tissue, of different tissues within the body. So that's pretty cool. And the way that you'll remove that is you can literally just set the intention to heal and release all trauma that is attached to neural pathway tissue. That might be really intense. Be careful. With grace and ease, if it helps, do it in layers, like just channel how many layers there might be there and then just do one layer at a time. That way you can go easy on yourself. Okay. And then to say, okay, I now heal and release the first layer of trauma tissue off my neural pathways, send that back to the creator for healing and call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light, your natural frequency, and anything else that serves your highest contracts. Clear your feminine, masculine energy, overall energy, old body memory, and send that back to source for healing. Okay. And then call back healing energies and then all the filters. I just have to say, I love the super chat. Oh my gosh. The live chat thing. This is so much fun. Some of you guys like come in live and watch my videos. I love that you interact with me. This is so much fun. I feel like my inner child is like lighting up right now and it's coming out. So thank you so much. Whoever you are, Romare. I think that's how you say your name. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna like start trying to like dress the part more. So I have less of that like spiritual ego filter to navigate through, like through businesses and through people. It's so annoying. Like, why do I have to fucking look a certain way? Like, why can't I just be me, you know? So anyways, I know I'm going to create that space one day for a lot of other starseeds who are different and who've always felt different, who've always felt like the black sheep, that we don't have to fit other people's fucking boxes. Like we can just show up however and be like, yeah, I can do this and what? Because I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to be about it. So, and I don't have to look the certain way. So anyways. Okay. Oh yeah. And then, okay. Then you can dissolve all traumatic attachments as well. So you can scan for traumatic attachments and the neural pathways. That might be intense as well. And also what I found was toxic patterns deeply embedded in the limbic system. So the limbic system is basically like your brain system. I just want to show you guys a picture really quick on my phone, what it looks like. That way you can kind of work with that visual, because I'm such a visual person. So I like to look at these pictures when I'm doing this energy healing. So images. Let's do this one. I feel like this one's more simplified. Okay, we're gonna have to like do the turning thing again. Maybe. Okay, I know it might be hard to kind of read that on the camera, but this is a visual of the limbic system. Okay, so we have the prefrontal cortex, we have the pituitary gland, the amygdala, the brainstem, the hippocampus, the cerebellum, and the hypothalamus. And what you can do is you can go through on your own time through your own meditation and channel and see if you have any toxic patterns or old belief systems that are lodged. Oh, I need to write that down. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Old belief systems and toxic patterns. I guess I need to fully flesh out my limbic system. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways. But yeah, you can scan your own limbic system and look for toxic patterns. You can look for old belief systems that are not yours, or maybe that you formed in childhood out of survival. Okay. And you can go through and scan your prefrontal cortex, your frontal cortex, your pituitary gland, and you can literally channel and see if any of these things are stuck in the non-physical and any of those organs a part of your limbic system, or just in your limbic system overall. I know that in psychology, when I was in college and undergrad, I studied that the amygdala is it's a very tiny organ. I think it's an organ in the brain. Oh my gosh, what kind of scientist am I, right? Anyway, so I know that it was responsible for, like, if it got super underdeveloped or if it didn't grow properly, like you could be more susceptible to having anxiety disorders, immune disorders, and other shit, like crazy shit. For those of y'all who have Netflix, go watch the documentary. It's called The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez. That shit is so sad. It is so fucking sad. And like all I could think about was like all the trauma that he went through and all the non-physical shit that like existed in his brain and his limbic system. And then like basically it was about this 8-year-old boy who was like severely neglected, severely abused, severely traumatized. Like his parents made him eat cat litter, like did crazy shit. And he died at age 8. And when they performed the autopsy on him, they said that his amygdala was like the tiniest amygdala they had ever seen, like in the history of like autopsies. Like it was crazy. And all I could think about was like my energy healing stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, it like made me want to fucking cry if I didn't cry, because I'd watched that like 4 years ago. And so it was so sad. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I gotta stop talking about it. So anyway, back to the energy healing. So I found 2 toxic patterns at the time, just overall in my limbic system as a whole. And they were kind of little in energy, that it wasn't like anything intense. So I can remove both of those toxic patterns at the same time. So basically what I did was I said, okay, I now heal and release all toxic patterns out of my limbic system that no longer serve, send them back to source for healing. And I call back healing energies, pure unconditional love, healing golden light, my natural frequency, yada, yada, yada. Now, for those of you who are wondering if, well, do I have to know what these toxic patterns are in order to remove them? Not necessarily, not all of the time. So you can actually remove toxic patterns. You can actually remove certain things without consciously remembering or knowing what it is. Because in a way, if it's already in your conscious mind somewhere floating around, then it's already ready to be healed and released. Just because you're not like directly looking at it doesn't mean that you can't remove it, if that makes sense. So there are times where I have old past lifetime energies come up and they're just ready to go. Like I don't need to look at them. I don't need to know what it is, that they're just ready to go and to be like release out my energy in my body. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then there's times where they make themselves known and I get visuals or like I get channeled information about them as I'm removing them or before I remove them. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I had to know this. Like I had to see this for whatever reason. Got it. And so, yeah, just play with that, have fun with that, and see what you come across. So I didn't know what toxic patterns I healed and released because I've released so much toxic shit out of my energy that I'm just like, what else could there possibly be? But yeah, anyways. Now I'm curious. Now I want to go scan my limbic system today. But I'm going to do that after I leave the library because I love the library. That is like literally one of my favorite places on this fucking planet to go to. Okay. All right. And then I think that is everything. I want to see if I mentioned something else in my video. So we talked about the ancestor stuff, the past lifetime stuff. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's a good stopping point. So, okay, cool. All right, guys. So that is all I have for you today. So have fun with that. I hope you enjoyed my long story from like 4 years ago. I haven't told that story in so long. So anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel if this content resonated with you today. And be sure to join the community with everybody who enjoys healing themselves as well and learning new information. Also, if you have not already, please go ahead and sign up for my free newsletter. It comes out every Sunday at the beginning and the end of the month. And so I basically give you extra energy healing tips, extra inner work tips. Basically, it's like an energetic forecast for the week. And so if you're just as equally obsessed with energy healing that I am, definitely check that out. So, and yeah, check out all of my links below. Please start networking with me on LinkedIn so that you can also network with cool people, okay? Because I am not a gatekeeping kind of person. I'm like, no, like I want everybody to experience abundance. I want everybody to experience a good life. I want everyone to experience living their best lives. So, anyways, yeah, go network with me on LinkedIn. And I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.